welcome to Country Cookin'. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we're going to be making honey mustard chicken, mandarin pasta spinach salad with teriyaki dressing, 3 seeds bread, and blueberry picnic cake. So we're going to start with the cake and get that in the oven. I have the oven preheated at 350, and I have separated 4 large eggs. I'm going to beat the egg whites first, get those nice and fluffy. Okay, when they're frothy, then we're going to add 1/2 cup of sugar. Now I'm going to take a cup of unsalted butter and we're going to cream that. Okay, when that's nice and light, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla. You're going to love this cake. My husband says this is the best cake he's ever eaten, so I hope you like it. For salt, we need a 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, now we're going to gradually add 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, a little at a time. I'm going to add the 4 egg yolks. Okay, now to my flour, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. A little bit of vanilla in there. I'm going to take that off. This is 2.5 cups of flour. Okay, I'm going to put about half of this in here, and then we have 2/3 cup of milk. I'm going to add about half of that. We'll mix that in, and then we'll do it again. Time of the year to make this cake is when blueberries are in season and they're not so expensive, because it takes 2 pints of blueberries. Just chock full of blueberries, but it is so delicious. Okay, when that's well blended, then fold in the egg white mixture. Trouble with folding in, you just have to be patient because it takes a while to incorporate it. If you would like a copy of any of these recipes and you don't have internet, give the girls at Valley a call. They'd be happy to help you with a copy of any of the recipes that you like. I hope you try this. You're going to love this cake. Okay, now I've got the 2 pints of blueberries that I've washed and stemmed. To that I'm going to add a half cup of all-purpose flour, and what this does is it helps the blueberries from sinking to the bottom of the cake. Okay, we'll fold those in to the batter. These are nice, fat, plump blueberries. Nobody said I was a neat cook. Okay. I have prepared my pan. I've greased it with butter. You can use Pam if you'd like. This would be a nice cake to make for Father's Day. I think all men like blueberries. Spread it as evenly as possible, and then we're going to top it with about 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, just to give it kind of a little bit of a crispy top. Okay, in the oven it goes. Anywhere from 50 minutes to an hour. You're just going to have to watch it depending on your oven, how your oven cooks. So we'll check that in about 50 minutes. I'm going to clean up. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Blazing fast broadband internet from Valley is now available and better than ever. Let us help you decide which speed is best for you. The 50 meg speed would be sufficient for 1 to 4 devices, mainly emailing and surfing the web. Our 100 meg speed works great for 5 to 8 devices and multiple users streaming and downloading video. If you have 8 devices or more that are simultaneously streaming or gaming, or if you have a medium-sized business, the 250 meg speed would work best for you. For extreme heavy home or work from home use, or if you have a medium to large business using 15 or more devices, you may want to consider our 500 meg download speed to fit your needs. And if you're a home or business that needs it all, we have our 1000 meg, 1 gig broadband internet speed. Call our office today at 437-2615 and talk with one of our staff members to pick the speed that's best for you.
Okay, we're going to get the 3 seed bread going. Once again, I'm using a bread machine, but if you would like a copy of this recipe, I've given you instructions where you would proof the yeast and combine your dry ingredients and then add your butter and your yeast. But anyway, so when we use a bread machine, once again, we always start with the water first. I have 1 1/8 cup of lukewarm water, 3 1/3 cup of white bread flour. This bread, because of the 3 seeds, it has such a nice blend of flavors because they're all quite strong flavored seeds. So I think you'll really enjoy this. Okay, to this we're going to add 2 tablespoons of dry milk. Once again, I'll tell you, I put my dry milk in jars so that I don't have to mess with that big box, and it seems like it's just kind of awkward with that spout and everything, so this works better for me. 1 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. 3 tablespoons of butter softened. And then 1 3/4 teaspoon each of caraway, dill seed, and celery seeds. So the caraway is a kind of a long, slender, very flavorful seed. I hope you don't have diverticulitis because this is a, and you can't have the seeds, but this with the flavorful seeds is such a nice accompaniment to any meal. Okay, and then I'm going to use fast rise yeast. If you use fast rise yeast, you need 1 1/2 teaspoon. If you're using active dry, it's 1 3/4 teaspoon. Okay, I'm going to go throw this on the bread machine and we'll clean up. We'll be right back.
Get 3 months free access on all lines plus a new 4G smartphone for only $4.99 a month. 2 great offers with Valley Cellular. Call Valley today at 437-2615 to take advantage of this great deal.
Okay, I've got my water boiling, so we're going to toss in the pasta. I have a 12-ounce box of bow tie pasta, and I've salted the water. Give it a little bit of a stir here. Okay, now we're going to make the sauce for the chicken. I have a 1/2 cup of Dijon mustard, and 1/3 cup of honey, okay, to this I'm going to add a tablespoon of dried dill weed. If you have fresh dill, use 2 tablespoons. It's a little more concentrated when it's dried. And we're going to add a teaspoon of orange zest. Okay, now I'm going to baste the chicken. This is a whole chicken cut up with it's just quartered, so the wings and the breast are attached, the thighs and the drumsticks are attached. So we're going to baste them generously. You can, if you want to, you can throw these on the grill too. It works well on the grill. And you can even do this recipe with chicken breast if you like. So we're just using a whole chicken this time. Okay, now we're going to turn it over And we're going to peel back the skin and baste so that it actually gets to the meat. And then you baste the outside also. And you've got plenty of glaze here, so be generous. Peel back again here. Lift the wing and get underneath there. Okay, now we're going to bake this in the oven at 400 degrees. I'm just waiting to pull the cake out so we can raise the temperature and put this in. So we'll get it going in just a few minutes. And then we'll go over and start working on the pasta and spinach salad. Now remember, if you want a copy of any of these recipes and you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'll be happy to help you with the copy. If you do have internet, go to the Valley homepage, www.valleytel.net. On the homepage on the right hand side, you'll see the Country Cookin' Cow. Click on that, you'll find all the recipes there. So I have 6 cups of spinach that I have washed, stemmed. Remember to always stem your spinach so that no one chokes. Those stems are hard to swallow. So to the spinach, we're going to add a half cup of craisins. I use cranberries sometimes when I make the salad. The recipe actually calls for craisins, so that's what I'm using this time. About a half cup. And then we have 8 ounces of mandarin oranges that I have drained. There are actually a couple of different kinds of craisins. I normally don't use them, but I found out that there are some cranberry infused craisins and there's cherry infused. I like cherries, so I'm trying the cherries with this today. And then the recipe also calls for cilantro. I don't care for cilantro. And a substitute for cilantro is parsley. I'm using fresh parsley, 1/4 of a cup. We're going to sprinkle that in, and that will give it kind of a little bit of a peppery flavor. And then the recipe also calls for pine nuts or cashews. I prefer pine nuts. I couldn't find them in my grocery store this time. So if you come across pine nuts, it takes the small pack. I roast them in the oven for just 5 minutes or so on a low oven, 300 or so, just to kind of give them a little bit of a toasty flavor, and toss those in. Or you can use cashews. So I have whole cashews here. We're going to use a 1/3 cup. Okay, and we're going to set this aside and we'll make our dressing. Stir my pasta a little. You want to make sure you get your pasta cooked just right. You don't want it too soft, you don't want it too hard. You want to get it just so it's just firm tender. Now the dressing uses a teriyaki base. So we've got a 1/3 cup of teriyaki sauce. It looks just like soy sauce. I should take that little spout off and make it go faster, but we'll just be patient. Patience is a virtue. Teriyaki sauce is a little bit sweeter than soy sauce, but they're going to give you kind of the same flavor. This recipe also called for salt. I have taken the salt out because I think that this is salty enough. We're going to add a 1/3 cup of apple cider vinegar, ½ teaspoon of garlic powder, and a ½ teaspoon of onion powder. Fourth teaspoon of black pepper, two tablespoons of sugar, and a ½ cup of oil. You can use olive oil if you like. I'm using canola oil. I'm using my little Pampered Chef dressing maker. It's ready to go. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to chill. We'll take a quick break while we clean up. We'll be right back.
Faster than fast internet is here. Valley now has higher broadband speeds of up to 1 gigabit. Get the bandwidth you need for all your devices at one time. Gaming with no lag time. Video stream your favorite movies instantly in HD quality. Video chat with friends and family without interruption. Download your favorite music and photos in seconds. All on our 100% fiber optics network. Valley offers managed Wi-Fi and backup services too, bringing together all the services you need. Valley Telecommunications Cooperative.
Okay, I've grabbed the bread out of the bread machine. I'm going to make it French bread style. You can put it in a regular bread pan, or you can just let it bake in your bread machine if you are using a bread machine. But I like to kind of roll it real well so you get all the air bubbles out. Try to even it up a little bit. I sprayed my bread pan. And we're going to take a couple of slits in there. I'm going to baste it with just a little bit of butter. Looks like this. And then we're going to let it rise. We're going to cover it with saran wrap. I always cover with saran wrap first, and then I throw a cloth towel over the top so it keeps any drafts out. Dry towel on it. And we're going to set that aside and let it rise. And I think that the cake is about ready to come out. That's what it looks like. I'm just going to do a cake tester in it. Yep, good. We'll set it aside so it cools. In the meantime, I drained the pasta and ran cold water over it, so we're going to put that in with the spinach mixture. We're going to get our dressing and give it a toss. start with about half of the dressing and see how that does for you. The nice thing about this with a meal like chicken or something you're having on the grill, you've got your pasta, you've got your vegetables, you've got a little fruit in there. So it's a nice combination, and it's a beautiful salad, as you can see. But yet it makes a real nice accompaniment for a meal without having to have a special salad on the side. Now the pasta will absorb a little bit of this dressing, so you may want to add a little bit, so don't toss out your dressing yet. Put that aside. And now we've got just a waiting game. We've got the chicken going. We're waiting for the bread to rise, and we'll get everything done in a few minutes. We'll be right back.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, everything's ready. We've got the bread out, got the chicken ready. Let's get a spatula here. I was gonna cut some, but I think I'll just go ahead and dish the thigh there. Cut some bread. If you want, you can give the cake just a little dollop of Cool Whip or something. Otherwise, you can just serve it as it is. And there we have it. We have our honey mustard chicken, our mandarin pasta salad with spinach and teriyaki dressing, our 3 seeds bread, and our blueberry picnic cake. Thanks for joining us today on this edition of Country Cookin'. We hope to see you next time.